Today we're talking about something I've wanted to talk about for a really long time. This topic is for coaches, actors, singers, anyone who uses their voice a lot. Because no one tells you that the hormones don't just impact the body, your mood, your sleep, but they affect your sound, your confidence, your range, and even your identity. Now, I can't think of anyone better to join me in this conversation than the brilliant Dr. Holly Vaughn, GP and perimenopause and menopause specialist. Thank you for joining me.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So, Holly, can I call you Holly?
Of course.
Thank you. So, what is perimenopause?
Okay. So, if I start by just defining menopause and then...
Yeah.
Because actually the menopause is a really short period of time and we've been so kind of caught up in that for so long.
Okay.
So menopause just means that your periods are stopped. So meno meaning monthly and pause meaning stop.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not having any more periods. That is it. Not had a period for 12 months, you are menopausal.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the perimenopause is actually a much bigger part of your life because that can be up to 10 years before this point.
Right.
So, if we think average age kind of 51, 52 of the menopause, perimenopause is from about 41, 42 in some women.
Mm-hmm.
And then to even throw more women into this, 1 in 100 women go through the menopause under the age of 40. So you've then got 1 in 100 women going through this from 30. We spend quite a bit of our life in this perimenopause.
Yeah.
And it's just a really rocky up and down, not knowing where we are. It's a rocky road.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to ask you because so many people ask me this, and there's always different questions about this, and people who have been to their GP, who have gone with symptoms of what they think perimenopause is, to be told you're too young to be in that category. Mm-hmm. So from 30s, really, you can start feeling symptoms?
Yeah, 100%. So,
okay.
Yeah, and I think people are being told less and less, you're too young, you couldn't possibly, or your bloods are normal, but people are still being told it. Yeah. So it is still a problem.
It's still happening out there. And I think also just having this conversation, we sort of talk about perimenopause and we talk about the effects of the body and sleep and mood. And often we don't talk about sort of like the voice issues within this. And I've had so many clients and friends sort of say, my voice feels unreliable. I'm hoarse for no reason. I can't hit the notes I used to hit. My voice cracks when I speak. And I just feel tired talking.
Yeah.
Have you ever had anyone come in and mention this to you? Is that a normal thing to hear?
Lots of people. And I suppose there's two components here. There's the voice as its own, I suppose, organ there. Yeah. Where actually we find as your estrogen drops, which is what is causing these symptoms, things get drier. Your skin's drier, your hair's drier, your throat's going to be drier. Yeah. You've also got then additional strain and things like that. But on top of it, you've got kind of the external factors that are affecting it. So this change in estrogen once again affects sleep. Yeah. So, we all know if you've had a rubbish night's sleep, you can tell it in your voice. Absolutely. So you've got that. You've got anxiety. So hormones cause anxiety changes. It causes change in your emotions. We've all been there just before your period, where actually something that happens causes a very dramatic effect compared to something, if the same thing happened 2 weeks ago, everything's great, and then just before your period, not so great. Yeah, not so great. So you've got the emotions as well, and how much that affects your voice. There's just... Yeah. There's a lot, isn't there? There's a lot. I was going to say, I'm not painting a lovely picture here.
No, there is a lot. But I think it's really important to actually understand how much there is and how much many of us have to go through, because this is a long process. It's a long process. And just, I want this to line up. So vocally and during perimenopause, estrogen fluctuates.
Yeah.
So it doesn't just drop, it sort of swings. Would you say that that's...
So your estrogen varies greatly throughout a normal cycle. So if you're 25, your cycle and your estrogen varies so much.
Yeah.
Okay, from the start to the mid to the end point. Now, if you kind of see that as a nice wave on the sea, this is a storm. It's going like this, or like a lie detector test. It's literally going up and down. And that's why we don't tend to measure it, because one day it can be, 40, the next day it could be 1500. It literally is.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
There's like two different ends of the spectrum. Yeah.
And then if that's happening in your body, your body's not going to understand. If we compared it to anything else, I always compare it to things like caffeine. If you had 1 cup of tea a day normally, and then you suddenly had 5, then 10, then none, then 20, then, you wouldn't be surprised that some days you felt awful, some days you were high as a kite, with it. And that's what's happening to your body. And it's just confused.
Wow.
And you can never reason with it or understand it, because it's just changing.
Okay. And you know what's taking all of that sort of information makes complete sense. And also when you look at it through the voice as well, and where dryness is created and how that's going to impact someone, even just in their speaking voices, and I think when we're, again, using clients for this and people that I know, myself as well, constantly using the voice. If you're someone that uses the voice a lot and you notice there's differences, it can make you feel like, oh, what's going on? I use my voice for work, I use my voice for joy, but I can't rely on it.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel stable.
And that in itself, even if there was nothing else going on, that not being able to rely on something is going to create anxiety, is going to create tightness.
Yeah.
So then you wouldn't get the same. I don't sing, don't know anything about singing. But I would imagine you then creating tightness
Absolutely.
and anxiety, which is then exacerbating. And, then there's other things. There's, reflux is more common in the perimenopause. So,
yes, and that also affects the voice too.
Yeah.
And I think, understanding the links is so important, because so many, again, of my clients will have this conversation about, hormones. Where are they hormonally? Where are they in their cycle? Because then they understand, oh, actually, that makes sense to what my voice is doing at the same time. We can have reduced flexibility, and in the range, we can have heavier or lower tone, increased vocal fatigue, dryness in the throat, like slower vocal recovery. All of this can happen, and we can be so unaware of why it's happening until we go, actually, let's understand what our hormones are doing.
Yeah.
Like, it's so important to have that awareness. Okay. So also talking about the voice in with this, it's identity for so many people. It's expression. It's, sexuality. It's confidence. Do you have people that come into you and go, I just do not feel like I know myself? I feel completely removed from how I felt like 6 months ago, and are just feeling completely lost. Yeah.
And I would say that's one of the commonest things we have. I'm not myself. I'm not, it's not me. And I would imagine, and I've had patients who, their voice is their identity, is their job, is their strength, is their, kind of their thing, their feature, their thing they like about themselves most. And then to lose everything about their identity is just, awful. And trying to come to terms with that, or understanding. And also, the menopause 100 years ago was at the end of a woman's life.
Right.
It is now, we're talking about women in their 40s who, you're halfway through your life. You know, for me, I want to go upwards from here. You know, you don't want to give up. We need to be kind to ourselves, but understand this and see what we can do to benefit it. And, often when we then hit the menopause, though things are different, they're stable.
Okay. Right.
Because you've not got the fluctuations.
Yeah.
So I guess then from the voice point of view, at least you know what you're dealing with.
Right.
Rather than, well, I could do that yesterday and not today.
Yeah, okay.
So, I don't want it to be like, you hit 40 and then cliff.
Downhill from there. Sorry, everybody. Yeah, okay. Right.
Things can recover.
Yes.
Your body gets used to its new norm and things are stable.
Yeah.
And,
Absolutely. And again, just lining this up with the voice, it's understanding that, we sometimes can't go back to younger techniques, right? It's working with the changes that are happening, that are inevitable.
Yeah.
And it's understanding then how to work with the voice in a completely different way. Yeah. And so many people go, I can't do this anymore. And we're not losing ourselves, even if it feels like that. We're having to relearn ourselves.
Guess, I suppose, is it what boys have to go through at puberty?
Yeah.
Complete different voice.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And obviously that's kind of a quicker and a more obvious transition.
Yeah.
But,
it's like coming into themselves, isn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think, again, having conversations like this are so important because you have so many people that just think, oh, this is only happening to me. Or I didn't understand that, my voice can do this, or I didn't understand that my body does this. Why is it doing this? Yeah. Why do I feel so isolated?
And it's not something you can obviously see.
No.
But, 80% of women experience these symptoms.
Yeah.
It's just a hidden one.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? And so when you have clients or patients coming in to see you, do they get to a point of, this really isn't me, is it? Mm-hmm. Or is there sort of like an understanding of, I think I'm in this age, this makes sense? And I'm sure there's other body stuff going on for them to go, yeah, this isn't normal, is it? This isn't not my regular pattern.
I think because it can be so up and down and so confusing, and, by the time you book an appointment with your GP, it might be 3 weeks down the line, you're in a different point of your cycle. You go, well, I feel normal, all my symptoms are different. And, I think so much is reliant on the main symptoms of menopause, your hot flushes. Well, I don't have hot flushes. Well, not everyone does. Mm-hmm. So I think the main thing is education. To understand, there is a change, there is a variation, what does this mean? Tracking it can help as well. And just education so people know what's happening to their body, because even if there's nothing they can do about it and they don't want to try anything, like HRT, at least you have that understanding, and that takes away the fear, which can make all of this, once again, voice, you go on stage and you hear voices different, that fear I suppose has a massive effect on your voice.
Absolutely.
So understanding takes away fear, so that can help. Then there's looking after yourself, making sure you're hydrated, make sure you're trying to sleep well, time for you, be kind to yourself, realise that you're in a more tense state. Do I need to do some breathing? Do I need to take the dog for a walk? Do I need to go in the garden and prune the roses?
Absolutely. And, again, this all ties into everything, everything. And I think you and I both work holistically, where there's an understanding of the connection between, for me, the mind, the body and the voice. So everything that you're saying is, what do I need to do to help myself? What can I do? And I think a lot of people may think, oh, maybe HRT is the only answer, I
don't think it's the only answer. I think with all of these things, you need to improve what you can. Mm-hmm. So alcohol, can you reduce that? Because that you know,
it's a drying agent, by the way.
Yeah,
dries you out.
Say,
yes.
We've all had one too many, and
Stop
in the
it.
morning you feel dry.
Yes.
Even congested as well. So that alone with alcohol can worsen reflux.
Yes.
You know, caffeine as well. Caffeine's half-life 6-8 hours in some people. So actually, fine, if you need caffeine, have it in the morning, don't have it in the afternoon, because that can affect your sleep. Your sleep affects your voice.
Yes.
So lots of things like that. Stay well hydrated.
Yeah.
All of that can help. Hydration during the day can actually help you sleep better at night.
Absolutely.
Let alone kind of lubrication. So loads of different things. I don't normally recommend any supplements or anything like that.
Okay.
But, you know, eating well.
Yeah.
Weight as well. It's a time when we put on weight in the perimenopause.
Yeah.
So actually, can we look at that? Can we look at
how
what
to reduce
we're eating,
it?
our diet, because that will cause more reflux if you've got more weight. You know, all of these things are just interlinked.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying, you know, HRT is bad, it's wrong. It's a lot safer than we thought, and also, you know, generally the risks of things like breast cancer is lower in HRT than it is than drinking a glass of wine every night.
Right.
So it's got its place.
Yes.
And I've definitely had people come in, you know, I've had an opera singer who actually it massively impacted her on stage, and actually she's back on the stage.
Amazing.
So, yeah.
Okay. So then what, you know, HRT and what that did for her obviously gave her that sort of lease of life again.
It's trying to get you back to...
rebalancing you.
Where you used to be.
Yeah, okay.
I think it's there in the title that, you know, we're doing that. We're trying to replace back to, you know, yes, it was never a smooth kind of, but back to that than
this huge sort of, spiky wave.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think also understanding, like, to your family as well. It can be really helpful as well.
Yeah.
That they know what you're going through.
Yeah.
Because they're not in the same point of life.
Absolutely.
And even it might have been, you know, parents don't understand because, you know, there was less education, less pressure on us. Perhaps, you know, 30, 40 years ago, you know, they didn't understand what was going through, and, you know, less women were working in high pressure jobs, or, you know, life is busy now.
Yeah, absolutely. So having those conversations with your family, with your friends, because not everyone's going to see or know what's going on for you.
And it would be surprising with friends and things like that, the amount of people who are also going through it.
Absolutely.
And understanding.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. So I want to I think we've actually covered everything. So what we could do to help ourselves. And we've spoken about hydration. We've spoken about sort of, I'm going to put in here nervous system regulation.
Yeah.
So grounding, breathing, going out and doing something that sort of makes you feel good and happier.
Yeah. And just do what works for you. Cause
yes.
I think for a long time you try and go, right, okay, I need to find this. I need to sit there and do mindfulness. Well, you don't have to do what everyone else does.
No, it might not work for you.
Do what makes you happy.
Yeah.
Does being outside make you happy? Does being inside make you happy?
Yeah.
You know, whatever it is, find that place. You don't have to sit there and picture being on a beach and the crashing waves.
Yes.
You know, actually you can go for a walk.
And I think actually this is also a chance for you to sort of relearn this stage of your life, like relearn yourself.
Yeah.
Give yourself that time, because you can't ignore this moment in your life. You can't ignore what your needs are. And actually you're discovering much more of yourself because you're understanding what your needs are, even if you didn't know that before.
You've got less of a tolerance. And I think, you know, what you did when you were 21 and, you know, you might have gone to bed at 3 o'clock in the morning, got up at 7, went to work.
Can't do that
Everything
now.
was fine. No. 10 o'clock.
In bed.
That's it. So you've got less of a tolerance.
Yes.
So that's why also it's important to look after yourself, because, you know, you don't want to drop below it.
No, absolutely. So, okay, so this is sort of like normal, I want to say normal, what is normal? Basic needs that we should be looking at, really.
But reminding ourselves, because it's so, so easy to put everyone else first and forget about yourself.
Absolutely.
And
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And I think there are so many people in that boat, and I think it's just important to go, listen, I need to do something for myself.
It's not selfish. It's also then, I think later you can give back what you gave to yourself, can't you? By actually, I feel more relaxed. I feel like me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is really, really, really cool. Thank you. Thank you. It was so great that we managed to get to do this.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a while, but we made it happen. I love it. Thank you, Holly. I appreciate it.
It's all right, my pleasure.
Bye-bye.